Today I'd like to spend a little time talking about forgiveness. It's a wonderful thing. Books are written on it. Many speakers touch on it. Go to workshops and seminars. Sermons are taught about forgiveness. And it is a wonderful thing, and it's a necessary part of our life. But today I'd like to ask that you consider why you need to forgive in the first place. Now, why do we forgive? It's a way to handle anger, resentments, a way to let go of suffering in the past, the things that keep us stuck, chained to the past. Something has happened to us, someone said something to us. It may have been a relatively minor slight or disagreement with neighbors and friends or people at work, or it could have been something that was a terrible experience to live through. But the concept is the same. The fact that it eats us up and tears us up inside is very toxic to us, that experience, is because we don't ever let it go. We put a label on it that the experience is what it is. It was what it was. But what's damaging to us isn't so much the experience as the label we put on it. When we label it and we tell ourselves we have the right to be angry and we have the right to get revenge, to be vindictive, then it becomes a cancer, very toxic to us. And it keeps us from moving on with our life. So forgiveness then is a remedial thing that we do to try to resolve something that we should try not to do in the first place. And that is to attach a label on something, that it was something that we should be angry or upset about. I know this sounds very difficult and quite impossible because we live in a society, in a culture that doesn't accept this. We live on a globe that doesn't accept this. Political parties argue and try to get each other, and neighbors fight amongst each other, and family and friends. And it's so natural to hold grudges and to hate and have anger, to be honest with you, that we feel then the only alternative is to forgive, to get free of this. So forgiveness is not the end all. It's a remedial action when we have made that misstep and refuse to let something go. It's a fix-it for us to be able to move on with our life. And in that respect, it is a good thing. But I still want to ask you why you feel the need to forgive. And the reason you feel the need to forgive, and we all feel that need, is because we've made I'll call it a misstep, in holding a grudge, in labeling something as harm to us. Something's happened to us. Let's just accept it for what it is. Let the present happen. It happened. Don't attach the labels, because what happens when we attach the labels? The anger kicks in, the resentment, and the poison seeps into our core. And then we do need forgiveness to forgive the other person. And even though that other person may not even care that you've forgiven them, or may not be aware that you've forgiven them. Other people do what they do. They do what they know to do. And it actually doesn't really have anything to do with you. Other people do what they do because it's who they are. And so the need to forgive is just because you've taken, or I have taken offense to it. So I encourage you to practice not attaching labels to things that other people do, things that other people say. It's said, it may be hurtful. It may not be pleasant. But it is what it is, and let it go. It helps you. It's not about making the other person feel better, because again, the other person may not even be aware that you're having a problem with it, or the extent to which you are. It's for your own sake. And Marcus Aurelius, a famous Roman emperor, wrote in his Meditations, he said, "Take away the opinion, I have been harmed, and the harm is taken away." And I want you to think about that, because if you can practice that in your daily life, you'll have much more peace and tranquility. And I don't say that it's easy. It isn't easy because it's not what we've been taught. It isn't what we're surrounded by. It isn't pervasive on the planet we live on. It's a truth, I believe. It's a truth. But it isn't taught. But if you practice this, accepting things as they are, not putting a judgment or a value on it, and moving on, people do what they know to do. They're the person they know to be. It doesn't mean we have to condone it or agree with it. But if we accept that other people are the way they are, then do the best in your life. Practice that. And if the practice doesn't go so well and you find yourself being revengeful, filled with anger and wanting revenge, use the remedial tool then of forgiveness to extricate yourself from that, to free yourself from that and let the past go. Because that's what forgiveness is for. It's a very special tool, but it's a remedial one. And I want you to get ahead of the ball. I want you to get to the place where, as much as possible, you don't need to forgive. You don't feel that need because you're not taking offense like you used to anyway. I know it's hard because it's not, again, what we've been taught. But it is possible, and it's a secret to great tranquility and peace in life. And once you've felt it, you'll know what I mean. Take responsibility for your thoughts and feelings. And what other people do to you is not your responsibility. But how you choose to handle that is your responsibility. So think about that. What other people do to you is not your responsibility, but how you handle it. What you do with that experience is. So choose peace and tranquility and practice not judging what other people do. What they do is nothing to do with you. And when you suffer pain or discomfort or embarrassment because of those acts, do the best you can. Practice it. And I think you'll find that you'll have more peace and tranquility in your life. Give it a try.